Lavella sifted through the tangled mess of clothes, a bittersweet ache in her chest. Each worn t-shirt and faded pair of jeans whispered memories of Crystal's vibrant spirits. Then tucked beneath a pile of forgotten scarves, a crumpled movie poster snagged the eye. It unfolded with a sigh, revealing a hauntingly beautiful image, a young girl with eyes that seemed to hold a universe of sorrow. The title, emblazoned in stark white letters, sent a shiver down Lavella's spine. The Orphan. Dismissing it as a mere coincidence, she tucked the poster aside. Little did she know, the strange image would become a chilling piece in a puzzle, far more terrifying than she could ever imagine. This seemingly mundane discovery would become the first thread unraveling the carefully woven facade of their adopted daughter, Janice. The cheerful girl who filled their home with laughter harbored a darkness they never saw coming, a darkness that mirrored the chilling eyes of the orphan on the poster. This is the story of the Maguads, a family shattered by a betrayal that ran deeper than blood. A story where the picture of a happy family fractured into a chilling portrait of deception and violence. A word of caution. This case will touch on details of violence that some listeners may find disturbing. By examining this case, we pay tribute to the lives lost and honor the unwavering pursuit of justice. This chilling case is reconstructed from information available online. So if there is anything we get wrong, or if you have additional information that sheds no light on the case, please don't hesitate to share it in the comments. So with that in mind, let's dive in. The December air hung heavy with the scent of pine and something far more bitter. A metallic tang that clung to Lavella Maguad's nostrils like a bad memory. She clutched her husband, Cruz, tighter, their bodies a huddle of grief and disbelief in the stark white hallway of the police station. A uniformed officer stood beside them, his face etched with an unwelcome sympathy.
"They found them in the rooms, Mrs. Maguad,"
he said softly.
"both Crystal and Cruz Jr. The medical examiner is on his way."
Lavella's vision blurred. Crystal, a vibrant 18-year-old daughter, with a laugh like wind chimes, and Cruz Jr., a quiet but fiercely loyal 16-year-old, their lives extinguished in the quiet sanctuary of their own home. It felt impossible.
"Janice,"
she croaked, her voice rusty with disuse.
"Where's Janice?"
The officer hesitated.
"She's in a separate room. She seems shaken."
Lavella's brow furrowed, shaking. Janice, their adopted daughter, who had seemingly fit into their lives just 2 months ago, should be heartbroken, devastated. This detached reaction felt wrong. Something felt off in their shared sadness. Later, in a sterile interrogation room, bathed in harsh fluorescent light, Janice sat huddled in a chair, knees pulled up to her chest. Her dark eyes were wide and brimming with tears, her porcelain skin marred by a single fresh scrape on her cheek. Yet, amidst the vulnerability, there was a flicker of something else, an emotion Lavella couldn't quite place.
They were like my real siblings."
Janice's voice trembled as she spoke.
"I can't believe this happened. Who would do something like this?"
Lavella ached for the raw pain in Janice's voice. Yet, the memory of the officer's words lingered. Shaking, it didn't fit. The following days were a blur of tear-stained faces, hushed whispers, and the suffocating weight of loss. The house, once filled with the sounds of laughter and music, echoed with an unnerving silence. Crystal's favorite painting, a vibrant explosion of color that hung in the living room, seemed mockingly cheerful against the backdrop of the tragedy. Cruz Jr.'s worn baseball bat stood propped against the wall by the door, a testament to a dream game that will never be played. As the initial shock subsided, the questions began to gnaw at Lavella. The police investigation, shrouded in secrecy, offered little comfort. Forensics dusted for fingerprints, neighbors were interviewed, and a perimeter fence choked the once inviting backyard. Yet, the killer remained a chillingly unknown entity. One afternoon, while sorting through Crystal's belongings, Lavella stumbled across a crumpled movie poster hidden beneath a stack of clothes. The image sent a shiver down her spine. It was a picture of a young girl with haunting eyes, her face framed by dark curls. The title, emblazoned in stark white letters, read "The Orphan." A sudden memory flickered. Janice on the couch with Crystal, engrossed in a movie with a similar title, a title Lavella couldn't quite recall. Dismissing it as a coincidence, she tucked the poster away, a silent testament to the life that had so vibrantly filled that room. Days bled into weeks. The investigation yielded little progress. The detectives, a gruff but kind man named Ramirez and his younger partner Sarah, became fixtures in the Maguad household. Lavella clung to their presence, desperate for any scrap of information. One evening, as they sat around the kitchen table, Ramirez tipped a pot of strong coffee, his brow furrowed in concentration.
"We're hitting a wall,"
he admitted.
The security cameras on the outside of the house weren't working, and there's no sign of forced entry. It's almost as if the killer knew how to get in and out unseen.
Lavella exchanged a worried glance with Cruz. This detail, kept from them before, sent a jolt of fear through her. Sarah, ever the optimist, interjected,
There's still the possibility of an inside job. Did anyone have any arguments with your kids lately? Anyone who might have a grudge?
Lavella and Cruz shook their heads in unison. Their children were kind, well liked by everyone. The thought of someone harboring ill will towards them seemed unthinkable. Suddenly, Janice, who had been unusually quiet throughout the conversation, spoke up. A voice, barely a whisper, held a tremor Lavella couldn't quite understand.
Maybe it was someone they met online,
she ventured.
Crystal was always chatting with people on the phone.
Lavella felt a flicker of unease at Janice's suggestion. Crystal was cautious online, always wary of strangers. Still, it was a possibility worth exploring. The detectives promised to look into it, their faces etched with a newfound determination. In case you don't know, this is our first video on Dark Orange. Thanks for being our first audience. To support this baby channel, kindly nurture us by clicking on the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Let's get back to the case. Days turned into weeks, the investigation morphing into a frustrating dance between hope and despair. The online lead proved fruitless, and the house remained a silent tomb haunted by memories. Lavella found solace in old photographs, each one a poignant reminder of the lives tragically cut short. One afternoon, while sifting through a box of Crystal's belongings, Lavella discovered a hidden diary tucked beneath a stack of college brochures. Hesitatingly, she cracked it open, the faded ink whispering tales of teenage dreams and anxieties. A particular entry caught her eye, dated a month before the tragedy.
Janice is amazing,
Crystal had written.
She's so smart and funny and we get along so well. But sometimes I catch this look in her eyes, a coldness that chills me. It's like she's looking through me, not at me. I know she's had a rough past, but sometimes I wonder.
The chilling possibility hung heavy in the air. Lavella recalled the movie poster, The Orphan. Could it be more than just a coincidence? A memory surfaced. Janice engrossed in a similar film with Crystal, a title Lavella couldn't quite remember. Deciding to confront Janice, Lavella found her curled up in the living room, a well-worn copy of The Orphan clutched in her hands.
Janice,
Lavella began, her voice trembling slightly.
I found Crystal's diary. There's something she wrote about you.
Janice's eyes widened, a flicker of something akin to fear crossing her features.
What did she say?
She stammered, the book slipping from her grasp. Lavella recounted the chilling excerpt, watching Janice's mask of innocent crumble ever so slightly.
Janice,
A voice firm.
Tell me about your past before you came to us.
Janice hesitated, a long, uncomfortable silence stretching between them. Finally she spoke, a voice barely a whisper.
It was bad,
she began.
I bounced around from foster home to foster home. No one ever really wanted me.
The raw pain in her voice tugged at Lavella's heartstrings. This was the vulnerable Janice they thought they knew, but something didn't fit. The diary, Lavella passed gently.
Crystal mentioned something about a coldness in your eyes. Did something happen in those foster homes?
Janice's composure faltered completely. Tears welled up in her eyes, but this time, Lavella saw something else. A flicker of anger, a defiance that sent chills down her spine.
They didn't understand me.
Janice choked out.
They never understood.
The conversation ended abruptly, leaving Lavella with more questions than answers. Later that night, while browsing Crystal's social media accounts on her hunch, she stumbled upon a clue. In Crystal's messages, Lavella discovered a private chat history with a therapist specializing in reactive attachment disorder, RAD. The pieces started to fall into place. Janice's troubled past, the emotional detachment Crystal mentioned, the unsettling movie posters, it all pointed towards RAD. This wasn't a random act of violence. It was something more calculated, fueled by a darkness they never saw coming. Determined to get answers, Lavella contacted the therapist listed in Crystal's messages. The woman confirmed that Janice had been in therapy for RAD, a condition that could cause children who experience neglect or abuse in their early years to struggle with forming healthy attachments. Armed with this new information, Lavella approached the detectives. Ramirez and Sarah listened intently, their faces grimmed as they digested the details.
We need to talk to Janice again,
Sarah said, a determined glint in her eyes. This RAD could be a key piece of the puzzle. The next day, the interrogation room held a different air. It wasn't just about the crime anymore. It was about peeling back the layers of Janice's troubled past, about understanding the darkness that lurked beneath the surface. This time, when confronted with evidence, Janice's facade shattered. The tears turned into rage, the vulnerability replaced by a chilling coldness. She confessed, not to jealousy or anger, but to a warped sense of entitlement.
They were supposed to be mine, she spat.
A voice devoid of remorse.
They were supposed to love me the way they didn't love anyone else.
The revelation hit Lavella and Cruz like a physical blow. The loving family they imagined Janice craved was a carefully constructed facade. The adoption story itself might have been fabricated, a manipulative ploy to gain their trust and affection. The investigation took a dramatic turn. With Janice's confession, the focus shifted from an outside threat to the monster who had been living among them. Forensics reimagined the crime scene, finding evidence that confirmed Janice's story. Evidence carefully staged to appear like a forced entry. As the details of Janice's past emerged, a horrifying picture began to take shape. She hadn't just bounced around foster homes, she had been expelled from several due to violent outbursts and manipulative behavior. The therapist confirmed Janice exhibit classic symptoms of RAD, a deep-seated fear of abandonment fueled by early childhood trauma. It became clear that Janice never truly bonded with the Maguads. She saw their love and affection as a possession to be controlled, not a gift to be cherished. The movie posters, particularly The Orphan, resonated with a twisted perception of family. She craved the complete and unconditional love portrayed in the film, a love she believed the Maguads owed her. The trial that followed was a media circus. Lavella and Cruz, still reeling from the betrayal and the loss of their children, bravely faced the public eye. Janice, portrayed in the media as a monster in a child's body, remained emotionless throughout the proceedings. The court found Janice guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. Due to her age, she received a reduced sentence, 30 years in prison with the possibility of parole. This did little to ease the Maguads' pain. They had lost their children and their sense of trust, forever haunted by the chilling question: how could they have missed the monster hiding in plain sight? The story of the Maguads became a national conversation, sparking discussions about RAD and the challenges faced by adoptive families. Support groups reached out to Lavella, sharing their own stories of heartbreak and struggle. Years later, on the anniversary of Crystal and Cruz Jr.'s death, Lavella stood before a crowd gathered for RAD awareness events. She held a framed photo of her children, their faces beaming with life.
They were my sunshine.
She choked back a sob, stolen by a darkness I never saw coming. But their memory will live on, reminding us that vigilance is key. We need to be aware of the signs of RAD to provide support to adoptive families and to break the silence surrounding this little understood disorder. As the last rays of the setting sun painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, Lavella's voice resonated with a quiet strength. The picture may have been shattered, but the love for our children and the fight for awareness remain unbroken. And that is the end of this case. Thanks for watching. See you in the next upload.